following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show presented by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. And this special Green Monday episode of the Box Score Breakdown is brought to you by our sponsor, the Hawaiian Isle Kona Coffee Company. You guys, go get yourself some delicious coffee. Neil, have you had some coffee yet, man?
I have not had any coffee yet. I am on caffeine, but I'm going through the diet soda route right now to keep myself up for the next 2 hours for the show. As we have discussed, it's a busy night, a lot of games going on. But no, I don't make coffee at home, which is going to have to change because I want to support our sponsor. So yes. I at some point will purchase this and maybe take a picture of it and post it somewhere online. That's what the kids do, I think, right? So we'll see.
Yes, follow Neil on Instagram. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you even have Instagram. But you guys, the best way to get some delicious Hawaiian Isles Kona coffee is go to their website, hawaiianisles.com. You can also get it on Amazon. Neil, I think that's how you ordered yours. I'm going to go run into the nearest Cost Plus World Market to go get some. I'm just waiting for our current coffee to run out, which will probably be by like Thursday, Friday. Then I'm going to go get some. Neil, big slate of games tonight. And the crazy thing going on, man, is I've lost count of all of the guys that are either out due to injury, they're out due to rest, or they left games due to something. I feel like silly season has come early this year, man. This is crazy. What do you think about all this stuff going on right now?
I know. I mean, the NBA obviously is kind of like two seasons. It's the regular season and the playoffs, and more and more teams are just focusing on that. And I mean, that's what I'm assuming. A lot of this rest just seems to be like, instead of playing 82 games a year, I'll play 75, and I'll just take a rest now and again. So as we get to the games, we can talk about the rest. I don't think any of them are lingering issues that I have to worry about. Just guys that want a night off or have some issue, and they just feel it's better to take a night off instead of playing. So yeah. Yeah, as far as silly season, I don't know if we're quite there yet. We're not starting 5 G League guys yet, the Dallas Mavericks, so it hasn't got that bad. But yes, there are players in the starting lineups tonight that I was not expecting to talk about, but we will.
All right, man. I don't think we should waste any time. I think we need to dive straight into this so we keep this show at a reasonable time frame. I believe I led last night. Do you want to lead us this night?
Yeah, sure. I'll start us off. First game I've got is Washington, Indiana. Washington loses 101-109 on the road. John Wall, one of the aforementioned players who was taking a rest. On the game tonight, Thomas, I believe, Satoransky started for him. I picked him up, Adrian, in I think a league or two, and I did not play him in my Games Cap league. I played him in my 12-team league where you start everybody. So tonight he had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, just took 6 shots, made 2 of them. He did go 2 of 2 from the line and a steal. I don't have huge expectations for him, even if for some reason John Wall would be traded. I think he can be a low-end starter. I've seen some reports thinking he might be in top 75. I know he's done that at times. I just don't think it's going to happen again this year. I think he's more like a top 100 guy. But let's move on to Bradley Beal, who had the line of the night for them. 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on not great shooting, 10-27. Did go 6 of 7 from the line, 4 3-pointer zone, 3 steals and a block, 4 turnovers. Thomas Bryant, another person who's now in the starting lineup, at the center position, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 4-6 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line. This guy, I like him, Adrian, because he's a center he shoots well from the free throw line. Unfortunately, he does not block a shot tonight or get a defensive stat. Austin Rivers got the start as well at shooting guard, 13 points. He played 35 minutes, 3 rebounds, 4 assists on 5 of 9 shooting. So solid there. 2 3-pointers and a steal. Otto Porter Jr. just played 7 minutes. I'm going to have to look this up. I'm guessing he got hurt, right? He's one of the guys that got a little dinged up.
Right knee contusion, left the game, did not return.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's been starting to see a lot of increase in fantasy value with Wall absent tonight. Just the 7 minutes and didn't do anything fantasy-wise. Off the bench, Kelly Oubre had a solid night, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 of 14 shooting. Struggled a bit from the line, 4 of 7 from the line, but he's 80% on the year, so he should be fine. 3 steals and a block. Markieff Morris just played 21 minutes. I'm surprised by this. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 of 11 shootings, 1 of 2 from the line, a 3-pointer, 2 steals. Did have 4 fouls, so he probably got in foul trouble. Sam Decker played 10 minutes. Jan Mahimi, 7. Standaransky, if you want to pick him up and take a flyer on him, just don't have huge expectations. That's my one takeaway. And Thomas Bryant, I think he might be okay. I mean, he's the center. Only got 3 rebounds tonight in 20 minutes and only played 20 minutes. So with this 1 foul. So it wasn't a foul issue. I don't think he's going to be great either. So if you're kind of hoping for like lottery tickets, those 2 guys may not be the ones, but I think they will be startable, assuming if Wall leaves, and Bryant should be, he should be right at the borderline startable rest of the season. What are your thoughts on Washington?
So John Wall's going to miss a little bit of time here. I believe it's a shoulder issue. And we saw Otto Porter go down in this one. Doesn't look like anything serious, but maybe expect him to miss a game or 2. I think Kelly Oubre Jr. is an automatic play. We saw him have the big game here tonight. I think if Wall and if Porter's going to be out, I think Oubre is going to be solid. And then I like your take on Satoransky. A little surprising was Austin Rivers kind of spoiling the Satoransky party tonight. Like, Austin Rivers actually had a decent line tonight. So I don't know, man. Maybe they're going to kind of switch off. Like, one guy's going to be good one night, the next guy the other. I think Satoransky will be worth owning, though, especially if you need some assists. He had 4 tonight. And that's all I got, man. Any closing thoughts on the Wizards before I jump in on the Pacers?
I'm glad you mentioned Oubre. Yeah, he's definitely a must-play when their lineup's thin. Because when he starts or when he gets this many minutes, he is definitely useful to put out there. But that's all.
All right, man. I'm going to jump in on the Indiana Pacers and going to start with Miles Turner. Neil, this is what I envisioned. In one league, I drafted Miles Turner. I think the Hoop Ball Staff League. I drafted Miles Turner in like the 4th round, and this is what I was hoping for. 26 points, 5 blocks, a steal, an assist, 12 rebounds, 2 threes. Man, did a little bit of everything tonight. The 5 blocks are stellar. 11 of 16 from the field, helping you in your field goal category. 2 to 3 from the line. Really good game from Miles Turner. Darren Collison played pretty well with Victor Oladipo out. I'm hearing Victor Oladipo could be pretty close. Maybe at the end of the week we could see him back. 10 points for Collison, 2 steals, 17 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 3, 3 of 7 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Pretty good game from Darren Collison. Thad Young with a double-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 threes tonight, shot a nice 6 of 10. Beautiful game from him. Bojan Bogdanovic doing what he does, which is score, and even doing more than that, man. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 3 threes, shot 8 of 15. Tyreek Evans with a good game here. 18 points, 2 steals, a block, 6 rebounds, an assist, 7 of 13 from the field. He added a 3. Neil, the Pacers, the starters were just rolling tonight. Sabonis, a letdown. I played him in quite a few leagues tonight. He only got 18 minutes. He had 5 fouls. So 5 fouls in 18 minutes definitely did not help him. He did have 11 points, an assist, a rebound, 3 of 4 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. Not too much else here off the bench. Neil, what do you think of the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, I mean, going up against a Washington team that's not very, that's kind of depleted and not known for their effort these days. So the Pacers are a well-coached team and a pretty good team this season, and they just had a great night. Evans with the, Collison with the 17 assists. My God, that's just amazing. And like you said, Miles Turner in the last 2 weeks in 8-cat, he is 25th overall, Adrian. And guys like you who stuck it out for 2 seasons are just finally seeing the fruits of it. No, I've always been a Turner fan, and I would have taken him in both seasons if he would have fell to me. But it's good to see him delivering for his owners, at least in this game. And the last couple of weeks have been very strong. Not much else to add. I'm glad to see Oladipo. There are some rumors out there that maybe this is going to be a very extended injury. But like you said, I see an expected return date of 12/14. So hopefully that is correct, and he can get back into your lineups. Maybe not that game, but a game or two afterwards. So we shall see. Anything you want to close on before we move on to the next game?
Nope.
All right. I've got Detroit, Philadelphia, another team that was shorthanded, that being the Detroit Pistons. Blake Griffin did not play tonight. Either did, I believe, Stanley Johnson sat as well. So Reggie Bullock is still out. So just, two starters and a bench player. All right, so let's start off with Andre Drummond, 21 points, 17 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 12 shooting. Still struggling from the line, though. 5 of 11 from the free throw line. A steal, did have 3 blocks, and just a single turnover. All right, this was not the guy I thought I'd be talking about tonight. Luke Kennard, 28 points in 37 minutes on 18 shots, 11-18 from the field, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 3-pointers, did have 5 turnovers. Let's see who else. Reggie Jackson played 28 minutes. Eventually, I believe he fouled out, if that's correct. Had a decent night, though. 15 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists on 6 of 14 shooting, 3 3-pointers, 2 steals, just 2 turnovers. John Lure played 31 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds, no assists, 4 of 8 shooting and a steal. Bruce Brown Jr., 25 minutes. Unfortunately, he's just not able to produce much in the starter's role. 6 points, a rebound, 2 assists, just took 7 shots, made 3 of them. Not a 3-pointer, though. Had a block. Langston Galloway, we talked about him. I think it was yesterday. Was it just yesterday? It feels like forever ago. Yeah. Like you said, he can tease. Tonight, he totally did not do anything. 1 point. That's it. Oh, he had a block. Sorry. Jose Calderon, a name, again, I thought I'd mention. Played 22 minutes. 11, 1, and 4, and 5 of 7 shooting. Also had 4 turnovers. Zaza Pachulia saw 11 minutes. Henry Ellenson, someone I'm not really too familiar with, played 17 minutes. Glenn Robinson back on the bench, 7 minutes. Adrian, are you? What do you think about Kennard here? I guess that's the one thing. This is just a sub. This is like a relief pitcher comes in and has a good game or something, right? We can't even do anything about this, can we?
I don't think so. Blake Griffin's out. Reggie Bullock is out. Stanley Johnson is out. Gonna put Kennard on my watch list. This was a really nice game from him tonight. I love, we know he can shoot threes, which he did tonight, but man, the 8 rebounds and 3 assists. So I'm going to keep an eye on him, but I don't think it's something where we can kind of wait and see. And as you mentioned, man, Langston Galloway, who we thought maybe could be worth a stream in deep leagues, just showing us why you can't count on that guy, man. So, yeah, it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, I'll just add just real quick. Yeah, Kennard, he might have started in place of definitely watch him, because he may have started in place of, who am I thinking of? Glenn Robinson III, and he was actually +2 in the 37 minutes he played. So definitely don't throw it away.
And Glenn Robinson III actually left this game with an ankle injury, so possible he misses a little bit of time. And Neil, in the offseason, I heard some buzz that they were really high on Kennard, and they thought that he could be a solid piece, a solid rotation piece this team. So Would not surprise me if they. Kennard was also dealing with an injury to start the season, so he's had a really slow start. So who knows, man? Maybe he gets going here. So yeah, it's definitely worth watching. All right, Neil, going to jump in on the Philly side, and I'm going to note super quick. I'm going to start with Jimmy Butler, who left the game with a strain growing. This doesn't sound great. I mean, I don't think it's anything serious, but I would expect him to miss a few games here. And I haven't heard anything, but if I had to bet my money, I would say he's going to miss a little bit of time here. So Joel Embiid him and Simmons should be locked and loaded while Jimmy Butler misses a little bit of time. 24 points for Embiid, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. Didn't shoot that great. Was only 6 of 16 from the field, but he did add a 3. He shot 11 of 14 from the line. Still a pretty good game from Embiid. Redick with 13 points, a block, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 threes. Redick shot very poor from the field. 3 of 12, 5 of 5 from the lines is nice. Ben Simmons flirting with the triple-double here. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block. Love those defensive stats. Shot a very efficient 8 of 11 from the field. 2 of 9 from the lines. Not great, but a pretty fantastic game from him. Wilson Chandler not doing too much. 7 points, a steal, a block, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the field, a 3 in 28 minutes. As I mentioned, Jimmy Butler only got 10 minutes in this one. Only got 0 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, breaking a lot of DFS hearts tonight. The bench came up big in this one, man. TJ McConnell, Neil, I think TJ McConnell, let's see what the diagnosis is on Jimmy Butler. But let's say they said that he's going to miss a couple weeks, which I don't think it'll be a couple weeks, but I'm just saying. I think TJ McConnell might be worth an ad, and tonight showing why. 14 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 threes, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Muscala had 10 points. Korkmaz had 18 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 4 threes. Jeez Louise, 7 of 12 from the field. Shamet got 10 points. It was a pretty nice all-around game from the Sixers. What do you think about him, Neil?
Yeah, I'd be a little I don't know who's going to pick up the slack for Butler. Let's say he's out a couple games. They've got a bench that a lot of guys can kind of fill in that role, and they did tonight. So McConnell might be the best one. It could be Korkmaz on a different night. It could be Muscala. It could be Shamet. So I don't know who to go there. I just think the one thing we have talked about is Wilson Chandler just not, despite starting, is not really worth owning, and that continues to be the case. So that's the only takeaway I can see from Jimmy Butler leaving early. I thought Chandler might take more shots, with Butler out. He's known to let it go, and tonight just took 7 shots. So unfortunately, I don't think he'll be the beneficiary. So not sure who else. Not sure if we can pinpoint it to one player from my perspective. All right. Should I move on?
Yes.
All right. Game 3 I've got is the New Orleans Pelicans at the Boston Celtics. Boston, another team that you can talk about their depletion tonight. They win 113-100. On the Pelicans side, they're still missing Elfrid Payton. Other than that, though, they're pretty healthy. Start with Anthony Davis, 41 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 17 of 34 shooting, right at 50%, 7 of 9 from the field, 4 steals, no blocks tonight. Julius Randle in the starting lineup for Mirotic, who just played. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Julius Randle, 28 minutes, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists on 7 of 13 shooting. His free throw percentage was just fine, 6 of 8 from the line. Solomon Hill getting the start as well at forward, 20 minutes, 3 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, not worth owning, and a steal and a 3-pointer. Tim Frazier, he's delivering the assists. 10 assists tonight, 8 points, 1 rebound. Took 6 shots, made 3 of them, made 2 3-pointers and a steal. Drew Holiday had a very quiet night for him. 7 points, a rebound, 6 assists on 3 of 10 shooting, with a 3-pointer and 3 steals. Let's see what's going on here with Mirotic. Sorry, I need to click ahead before I go to these games. Only played. Oh, he injured his ankle. Poor guy. He's been bumping around the last couple games. Played 7 minutes, 3 points, 1 rebound, so nothing there. Looks like he's out for about 10 days. Etuan Moore was out again tonight, so this team is a little depleted. And off the bench, Darius Miller played 27 minutes. Check Diallo 19. Ian Clark 17. Adrian, I don't know if I can. I mean, the only guys I trust on this team are Davis, Holiday, Mirotic when he's healthy, and then assists Tim Frazier. Do you think? I don't think Solomon Hill is worth adding and streaming. Darius Miller, Ian Clark. What do you think with this Mirotic news?
Did you mention Randall?
Oh yeah, Randall. Of course, I think is going to be. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I forgot Randall, but he's obviously having a great year. Unfortunately, probably can't pick him up unless you're in a really shallow league. You've been in a 4-team league. And it's just
oh man, I think I played in an 8-team league once, Neil, and I hated it because trying to figure out your worst guy and the best guy available on the wire is it's very frustrating because there's so many good guys available on the wire that you're constantly switching guys out. And I hated it, man. I don't think I'll ever play in an 18 league ever again. 10 is the most shallow I'll go. And actually, to be honest with you, right now, I'm not even sure if I play in a 10-team league. I think they're all 12 teams or deeper. But anyways, I love your take, man. We kind of know who the guys are here. This team is hurting right now with Moore out, Peyton out. They just lost Mirotic for a little bit of time here. So, yeah, man, it's kind of ugly. But Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday didn't have it going tonight, but he's been really solid on the season. All right, Neil, I'm going to jump in on the other side, the Boston Celtics. And, man, before the game, it was announced no Al Horford, no Gordon Hayward, no Kyrie Irving. Baines is going to be out for a bit. Neil, I automatically thought if I was making a DFS lineup, Jason Tatum is chalk. You got to play Jason Tatum. He had a pretty good game tonight. 21 points, a block, an assist, 6 rebounds. He added a 3, 10 of 16 from the field. Marcus Morris stepped up tonight, which is really surprising. I was watching this game, Neil. He got 3 fouls right away in this game, had to go to the bench early in the first quarter. I was thinking it's going to be an awful night from him. Nope. Turned out he had 31 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 threes, shot a very efficient 10 of 15 from the field, 6 of 7 from the line. An outstanding game from Morris. Scary Terry Rozier, 10 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 of 7 from the field, a 3, 1 of 2 from the line. Marcus Smart got the start, but just had 4 points. He did add 3 steals, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 of 8 from the field. Theus got the start here, but only had 6 points in 22 minutes. Off the bench, it was Jaylen Brown with 19 points, a block, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 threes from Brown tonight, 6 of 16 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Neil, what do you think of the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, such a tough game to read with all these guys out. 2 starters and then Hayward as well. And like you said, Terry Rozier definitely I think is a must start when he's starting the game, when he's getting 32 minutes. Although it wasn't a great line, it was good enough. Marcus Morris I think is also in that category when he gets a starting role. But like you said, I thought Jason Tatum would do a little bit better given his role. Gosh, Daniel Tice, I just don't think it's going to be good enough. Even Marcus Smart getting the start, he can't do much. Those guys are just kind of off my radar unless, unless there's those guys are injured for a while. I would say Jaylen Brown it's surprising he didn't start. Came off the bench with all these injuries. Did have a decent night, like you mentioned, but just in fantasy hasn't been relevant in standard leagues. So that's been a bit unfortunate. Boston in general, as we talked about, it's been kind of hard to predict from night to night basis, and it becomes even harder when all these guys are out. So anyway, not much else to add. Are you ready to go on the game 3? I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sacramento Kings at Chicago. Kings win 108-89. I'll do the Sacramento side. Let's see. Start with De'Aaron Fox, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on 8 of 16 shooting, 5 of 6 from the line, 4 3-pointers, 4 steals, and a block. He is just cruising to a great year. Buddy Hield, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 3-pointers, and a steal. Nemanja Bjelica still holding a little bit of value, but not. I think he's just hanging on for dear life here. 21 minutes, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block, 3 turnovers. Iman Shumpert getting the start still at shooting guard, 14 points. Small forward, 14 points, 5 assists, no rebounds, 4 3-pointers, and 4 steals. So those defensive stats may keep him relevant. I'm seeing him at 123 on a per game basis in ACAT. Willie Cauley-Stein played 27 minutes, had 11 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, including one from the line. Off the bench, Bog had played 30 minutes, had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. This guy, I love him. 3 3-pointers, 2 steals. Bagley, another one off the bench, just 2 rebounds tonight, but did have 16 points on 9 shots, including 5 of 6 from the line and a 3-pointer. That's basically it for their stat line. Yeah, I would say if somehow Bagley's out there, pick him up. I mean, he hasn't delivered in ACAT leagues just yet, but his minutes keep coming up. He's back from injury if he happened to get dropped. Bjelica, I would move on from, even though he's still technically relevant in 12 cat leagues. Not much else to say here. Shumpert, I'm staying away from. I think there are better options for 3-and-D guys, even though tonight he had a great one in 4-and-4. So any thoughts from you on the Sacramento Kings?
No, nothing from me. You pretty much got it. I love your take on Bagley. I think his minutes and his role is just going to keep growing as the season goes on. So if he's, just as you said, if he's somehow still out there, I think he's definitely worth a grab. All right, going to take a look at the Chicago Bulls side. Going to start with Zach LaVine with 19 points. 6 turnovers, a little bit of a buzzkill, but he did also have 3 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 threes, shot 7 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Lauri Markkanen, I'm so happy to see this guy back. The Finn Reaper, Neil. 13 points, 1 steal, 1 assist. Have you heard that nickname?
I have not.
The Finn Reaper.
You would think I
awesome.
have being here, but I am. That's phenomenal.
It's awesome. 13 points, a steal, an assist, 6 rebounds, 1 of 8 from downtown, 5 of 16 from the field. So the shooting wasn't too pretty tonight, but I'm just so happy to see this guy back and getting big minutes, took the most shots out of anyone on this team, rightfully so. So the usage is already there. This is great. Wendell Carter Jr., a little disappointing here. Only 8 points. Love the 2 blocks and the steal. 2 assists and 8 rebounds. 3 of 6 from the field. 2 of 2 from the line. I think he'll be okay. Ryan A., only 2 points in 26 minutes. Arcia Kono? I don't know, man. I'll never get it. I've heard people on Twitter have told me how to say it, and I still can't say it. That's how you know it's a tough name. All right, Chris Dunn, 9 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Just happy to see Dunn and Portis back in this lineup, and both of them just getting 20 minutes. You know, they're probably for the next few games, they're just going to see that 20 minutes, just work them in slowly, both of them coming back from injury. Bobby Portis with 9 points and 8 rebounds and assists, a block, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. I'm sorry, 1 of 2 from downtown, 2 of 2 from the line. Not too much else to talk about. Jabari Parker, really disappointing, 7 points in just 19 minutes. Neil, what are your thoughts on this team? Before I get your thoughts, I want to ask you, there was some buzz earlier today that the Bulls had a players-only meeting, that they were upset about the coach wanting them to practice after a back-to-back. It sounds like a mutiny. No, I'm just kidding. Not a mutiny. But what do you think about all this Bulls drama, Neil?
Yeah, I can't be upset with the coach if he wants to practice after that loss to Boston. That was so just embarrassing. Anyway, I don't know enough about the inside management stuff, coaching stuff to really comment on it. I will say it's good to see Chris Dunn back for a few reasons. One, I won't have to pronounce Ryan's name anymore if I ever didn't even try. I've been practicing, Adrian, and I still don't have the confidence to do it on the show. Anyway, I will say this. Yeah, so I own Chris Dunn in the league. It's in a roto format and games cap. So I didn't start him tonight, and I'm not going to start him. I probably wait until he has one game of 30-plus minutes before I start him. And then if it's a back-to-back, obviously I wouldn't start him then. I would wait until he has a fresh night. So I'm okay missing a night of good stats. I'd rather do that than put him in too early. So it's kind of my philosophy. I will say Jabari Parker, like you said, just a really poor performance. I think I did drop him in my 12-team league, so I don't think he's worth owning. He was barely worth owning even with all the injuries. And the Finn Reaper, this guy I think he's the most talented player on the team. And I think he is a core piece going forward. It's unfortunate the shot didn't fall tonight, but he is definitely. I think he may end up with the best fantasy value. I know it's weird to say with Zach LaVine having a great year, but I think LaVine, especially 9-cat, he's just turning the ball over so many times, and I think his points will come down precipitously with Dunn and Markkanen and Portis also taking up some usage as well. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, that's interesting on the mutiny. We'll see what happens. I can't believe those guys are pissed to practice after. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree, man. I feel like it sounds like they're a little soft. And I played basketball in high school, Neil. This is back in the days where coaches were hard. And man, we used to have to like run suicides until we vomited. It was awful, man. It was really bad. So for me to hear that they didn't want to practice after a back-to-back, I mean, I think the coach even said that he wasn't going to run them in the ground at that practice. So I don't know, man. This is really tough for me to hear, man. These guys are professionals. They need to show up for practice. Anyways. All right. Where should we go next?
Yeah. Just not a good look when you're a professional athlete and you're like, I don't want to practice. It's just like anyway, go to Cleveland, Milwaukee. Milwaukee wins 108-92. I feel like Milwaukee's been playing almost every night. It's crazy. I'll do the Cleveland side. Let's start with Tristan Thompson. He's been their best player recently. 12 points tonight. Just played 18 minutes. Oh gosh, he left as well.
Yes.
I just saw this. He had a foot injury, it looks like. Played 18 minutes, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 6 of 7 shooting. He's been phenomenal from the field this year. And steal, no blocks. Colin Sexton, the guy we both like for at the very least second half of the season tonight, if not longer, 32 minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 18 though from the field. So they'll have the struggles. 3 of 4 from the line, 2 3-pointers, no defensive stats. Alec Burks, someone I'm watching, is in the starting lineup for 2 games in a row. Unfortunately, did not really do much. He went 1 of 8 from shooting. He'll do that on occasion, 3 points, but the rest of the stats are really horrible too. 1 rebound, 3 assists, steal, no blocks. Rodney Hood, this guy I thought was borderline worth owning at some point, and now it's just not even worth it. 20 minutes, 3 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 of 7 shooting himself, stealing a block. Chetty Osman, someone who is worth owning, although he's been struggling recently. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 of 13 shooting. He's really just hurting you recently in field goal percent. That's his big negative number. But this team wants him to be a cornerstone. He's going to get 30 minutes a night. Hopefully he can produce some value for you. Same with Sexton. I know his sets are kind of tough, but when you're a talented player, the stats will follow you eventually. And Sexton, I think, is in that category. Let's see. Off the bench tonight, Larry Nance Jr., 25 minutes, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 12 shooting, had a decent night, and 2 steals. And then Jaron Blossom game, gosh, don't know who that is either. 26 minutes, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. He's got to be one of your guys, Adrian. He's a deep league guy, isn't he? Or is he not even a deep league guy?
I'll be honest with you. I've never even heard of him before.
He's had a couple games now where he's played some minutes. Let me look at his last. I think he might even, 26, 20, and 17 minutes. So he's starting to get a little bit of attention the last few games, but clearly not on my radar. Dellavedova, back in Cleveland, gets to play 16 minutes in this blowout, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. I do not think he's fantasy relevant, even if he gets 26 minutes. He's just not a good enough player, in my opinion. And that is about it on this side. I had a question on Twitter. I didn't have a chance to answer it before we came on, but I'll pose it to you. So I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat right now. Rest of season, Larry Nance Jr. or Noah Vonleh? I thought this was a great question, by the way.
Give me Larry Nance Jr. Had a beautiful game tonight with the 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And did you say Noah Vonleh is the other side?
Yeah.
Noah Vonleh, who I have in a few leagues, deep 14-team leagues, and I'm playing right now. It's still really up and down. And not that Larry Nance has been really consistent. He's been up and down as well. But look at Tristan Thompson went down today with it looks like it's a foot sprain. His x-rays came back negative. Look at big men with foot issues. This could be a little bit of time. The Cavs are in the race for Zion, meaning they're not going to rush Tristan Thompson back anytime soon. So Larry Nance, this is his time to shine, man. Go get Larry Nance. I like his production. I like the rebounds. Had 2 steals tonight. Usually can get some blocks, can hit some threes as well. I like Larry Nance. How would you lean on it, man?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the injury to Tristan Thompson as a line of reasoning. I did not know about that injury when I was thinking about this. I have to rethink it. My first thought was Vonleh because I am more confident in his minutes in New York than I am in Nance's minutes in Cleveland. That's it. If these guys are getting equal minutes, I'm with you, Larry Nance. But I'm worried Larry Nance might have like some of these 6-minute nights. So now I have to think about it because of the injury.
One thing I'm going to try to sway you right now. Tristan Thompson was averaging over 30 minutes per night. So if he's going to miss any time, it seems like a no-brainer that Larry Nance would see a boost. We could see this feller that you mentioned earlier, Jaron Blossom game. We could see him also step in as well, but I like Larry Nance. The other thing that I think it would be important to note, I'm really curious if as the season winds down, they really start to let loose Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. I think as the horrible record for the Knicks starts to get worse and worse, they start seeing more highlights of Zion windmill dunking on people, Neil. I think they're going to be like, okay, let's develop these youngsters. Could be bad for Vonleh, but I am speculating here. I'm kind of maybe, I don't know. So, but for me, I give the edge to Larry Nance. All right.
Yeah, I know that's really hard to predict. Like, who's going to get benched more because they don't want to play well, and how early do they do it? How early they do it? We know it's going to happen at, sometime in March, but could it happen in February? Gosh, I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. All right, Neil, going to jump in on the Milwaukee Bucks. I was absolutely stunned when I found out that Giannis Antetokounmpo was going to miss this game. I believe it was a neck injury. Hang on a second. Neck soreness. So, when you dunk on people all game, that neck, it starts to hurt, man. So they need to rest them a little bit. But it was a slew of guys picking up the slack. Gonna start with Brogdon, who's just, man, Neil, I thought this guy was going to be like a low-end value this season. He's been pretty good. This is forcing me right now. I got to look this up. In 9 category leagues, he's currently putting up 6-round value. He's cruising at rank 62. I didn't think that this was going to happen this year, Neil. I thought he was going to be like in the 90 range or 100 range. So having a pretty good season with 18 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds tonight. He added a 3, shot an efficient 8 of 12 from the field, 101 from the line. Eric Bledsoe with a big double-double, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 of 5 from deep, 8 of 15 from the field. It's a great game from Bledsoe. Chris Middleton, Neil, I listened to our show yesterday and I kicked myself because I was really hard on Middleton and I totally forgot that he had Kawhi Leonard, maybe the best defender in the game right now, draped all over him all game long in that game last night. And I was a little tough on Middleton because he didn't have a great line. I want to apologize because nobody is going to have a great line when you got Kawhi Leonard on you. Having a pretty good game tonight. The shooting still wasn't quite there, only 5 of 16, but 16 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 threes, 4 of 4 from the line. It's a decent game. Brook Lopez, 12 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, 5 and 9 from the field. 2 threes tonight is great. Ilyasova getting 21 minutes, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in a start. It was Brown contributing off the bench with 12 points and 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 11 from the field, 2 threes. Not too much else on the bench. I'm hoping we see Giannis back in the lineup next game. What do you think of the Bucks, Neil?
Yeah, I think this was just the game where they said we don't need Giannis to win, so let's just sit him out, give him some rest. Maybe it is something more. Maybe it is real injury. I'm not sure. Anyway, good note about Brogdon. He's been phenomenal this year. I think this might just be a function of he's got a coach now who knows how to get everyone involved and plays much better team basketball, and he's benefiting from that. I thought Bledsoe would benefit this year because Budenholzer has been known to develop point guards, and he's delivering. That was very gracious of you to apologize to Middleton. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Yeah, I forgot. I sometimes forget who's being matched up on players when I'm doing the stats. I forget they're being guarded by lockdown defenders. Not much else to say here. I think he covered it all. I know we've got more games to do, so let's hop on over to Utah, Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City wins 122-113. Start with we got to start on the Utah side with Rudy Gobert. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think he surpassed Donovan Mitchell in my pecking order. 13 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists on 5 of 8 shooting. 5 from the line tonight, 3 of 4. No blocks or steals, though. Donovan Mitchell, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists. A tough night of shooting again, 6 of 15 from the field. Did go 4 of 4 from the line and 3 3-pointers and a steal. Rubio, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 13 shooting, 2 steals. Joe Ingles, he has not been scoring. Tonight, just 6 points. He did have 3 rebounds and 5 assists and 2 steals, no 3-pointers. Derek Favors gets the start in this one. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 8 from the floor. His free throw shooting is not very good, though. Tonight, 2 of 6, a steal and a block. He's sharing the starting role sometimes with Crowder, who played 20 minutes off the bench. 13 points, 6 rebounds on 5 of 9 shooting, no assists. Did have 2 3-pointers, no defensive stats. Halul Neto got 20 minutes. Royce O'Neal, 18. Corver, 18. This was a blowout, or this was a big lead at one point. Doesn't look like a blowout from the box from the final score, but it was. And a lot of these bench guys got a lot more minutes than normal. A lot of the starters did not get their normal minutes. Gobert just 21, for example. Tonight, Rubio 23. Tough night. I thought about the playoffs last year and how Utah sort of embarrassed Oklahoma City. So I figured Oklahoma City was going to take them to the woodshed tonight, and it seemed to have happened that way. Any thoughts on this box score?
Yeah, my main thought here is, how dare you say Rudy Gobert before Donovan Mitchell? Neil, that's blasphemy. Neil, I just watched Mission Impossible, and Tom Cruise's name came up first in the credits. Do you want to know why? Because he is the biggest star, just like Donovan Mitchell. You have to say his name first. No, I'm just kidding, man. Donovan Mitchell, man. I listened to a podcast, Neil, from The Ringer, and they talked about how Donovan Mitchell, throughout his college career, has predominantly been a late starter. He started late last season, which I thought was just because he was coming off the bench to start the season. But I guess in college, he also would start pretty late and just get better as the season goes on. I don't know, Neil. I'm grasping at straws here, man. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I don't know. I'm pretty bummed out on Donovan Mitchell right now. All right, Neil, I'm going to jump in on the Thunder. Going to start with Westbrook. All this guy does is triple-double. 12 points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds, a steal, 4 of 8 from the line. The shooting was very ugly tonight. 4 of 18 from the field. Goose egg from downtown. He took 5 shots from three-point range, missed all of them. 4 turnovers as well. So not the prettiest triple-double, but whatever. Paul George, this guy's been great. 31 points, 4 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 10 of 12 from the line. He shot a nice 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 6 from downtown. It's a great game from Paul George. Jeremy Grant with 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 block, 6 of 11 from the field, 1 3. Steven Adams with 22 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Shot a nice 8 of 10 from the line, 7 of 13 from the field. 23 points off the bench for Dennis Schroeder. 2 steals, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, filling it up. 9 of 17 from the field, 1 3, 4 of 4 from the line. Not too much else off the bench or to talk about here, Neil. What do you think of the Thunder?
Yeah, Paul George has been amazing this year. And he had a great game again tonight. Good to see his field goal percentage solid. I believe it was solid tonight, right? I'm not just making that up. 8 of 10 from the field. That's great. That's the only area that he tends to hurt you in this in fantasy. Not much else to say. Schroeder, I would not think he would be 75 on a per game basis in 8 cat. I know he's benefited from some Russell Westbrook injury time, but even tonight, getting 30 minutes in a great line. So I don't know if he's out there. I think it's worth owning. I had thought about it before the season began, and then he didn't look that great in the beginning of the season, so I dropped him once Russ came back, and now I'm kind of regretting that. Never seem to get it right, Adrian. I either let him go too early or I wait too late to pick him up.
You know what?
Has been the case. Yep, go ahead.
So there's such a fine line, right, Neil? Because you don't want to miss out on these hot free agents that could be potential game changers, right? So if you got a guy, and your thinking was right on, right? It's like Russell Westbrook demands so much usage, and they got Paul George. It's like I completely understand your thinking, and I tend to be really aggressive when it comes to pickup and drop. So I myself a lot of times drop a guy that I shouldn't have, and so don't be hard on yourself, Neil. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's one that got away for sure. All right, let's go on to the next game. Orlando-Dallas. I did not see this being a blowout, but it was. Dallas wins 101-76. I thought Orlando would travel a little bit better. I guess Dallas has a nice nightlife. Maybe that's it. Anyway, they're led tonight by Jonathan Simmons in 22 minutes, 18 points, 3 rebounds, no assists, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 3-pointers. Oh, Vucevic. This guy deserves respect. I'm sorry I didn't start with you, Nicola. Just played 26 minutes, but 8 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists. Tough night of shooting, 4 of 15. Must have been bothered by DeAndre Jordan. 2 steals and a block. Aaron Gordon struggled as well, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 4 of 15 shooting. Likewise, 2 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Jonathan Isaac, Adrian, in the starting role. We got to love that. Unfortunately, that's about all we love tonight. The 28 minutes we love. 4 points, 4 rebounds, no assists. Just took 4 shots, 2 of 4 shooting, a steal and a block, 3 turnovers. That's disappointing, but I think you stay with it if you have been, because I still think he's the future. Although I was saying that about Ntilikina last year, so hopefully we're not all wrong about Isaac this year. DJ Augustine, 25 minutes, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 3 of 8 shooting. No steals, no blocks. I already mentioned Jonathan Simmons. Off the bench, Terrence Ross is someone I've been watching closely. He's out there, and I think a couple of leagues I'm in. Tonight, just got 7 points, 3 of 11 shooting. He's been really good from the field this year, 45%, but tonight struggled. 7 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and a steal. Not much else to talk about. This was a blowout, so there was some minutes got by Kem Birch, and like I said, the starters didn't do much here in Orlando, only scoring 76 points total. Watching Terrence Ross, that's about it. Any thoughts on, holding Jonathan Isaac, I think, if you own him. I don't own him, though, so it's a lot easier for me to say that. Are you still holding him?
Neil, thank your lucky stars that you did not draft Jonathan Isaac. He is the most aggravating player to own. Neil, if I bench this guy, he has a good game. If I play this guy, he farts on my pillow, dude. I can't stand this guy, man. I don't know what to do, man. I can't drop him. I'm talking about these are like 14-team leagues, or I can't drop him. But if I play him, he does bad. If I sit him, he does good. It is getting aggravating, man. And I wish I never drafted this guy. I understand the potential. This is a guy who could be very high volume defensive stats, but man, just so inconsistent. Only took 4 shots in 28 minutes tonight. Look, it wasn't a great game for the Magic. Who knew that the Dallas was such a defensive juggernaut? I mean, as far as plus minus goes, every player on the Magic were in the negative category tonight. So just not a great game for them. I'm going to hang tight with Isaac, but it has not been fun, Neil. Not fun at all. All right, going to jump in on the Dallas Mavericks side. Going to start with my boy, and I say boy because he's only 19 years old, Neil. Luka Doncic flirted with the triple-double. A little bummed that the shooting wasn't great tonight. Was only 2 of 11 for 7 points, but did also add 9 assists, 11 rebounds, 1 steal. Still having a great season. As of right now, you got to say he's probably the front runner for Rookie of the Year, especially with Ayton kind of fading a little bit at the moment. But anyways, Harrison Barnes with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 threes tonight, 7 of 15 from the field. Brunson, Neil, this guy's got my attention. I believe he had a good game the other night, a decent game the other night. Dennis Smith Jr. is missing time, which is why he started. He played 32 minutes. Check out this line. 17 points, a steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He even added a 3, shot a pretty good 7 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. I'm not expecting Dennis Smith Jr. to miss a lot of time. I think he's going to be back soon. But in deep leagues, maybe this guy's worth a flyer just to see what happens. I don't know. DeAndre Jordan with 7 points, a steal, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the field. Wesley Matthews with the low-end line, 10 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 threes. He shot 3 of 10. Off the bench, it was Dwight Powell getting 16 points, 3 rebounds and assists in 21 minutes. Not too much else to talk about. Finney Smith, who's had some up and down value, had 9 points, 9 rebounds, and assists and 2 steals in 22 minutes. He also had a 3. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah, the most interesting development is Jalen Brunson. I think he was out of Villanova, right? He was on the national championship team, if I'm correct. Not the buzzy guy that came in this year from that draft class from that team, but was a starting point guard. Had a great college career. The last 3 games, he's been very serviceable. Number 80 in 8-cat leagues. So if you need someone to stream as long as Dennis Smith is out, he's worth owning. We don't know. I don't have a timetable yet on Dennis Smith Jr.'s return. So I think when I see 3 in a row of that, and obviously I'm not going to play him once he's back to the bench, but I'd be willing to pick him up if I had a dead weight somewhere and he was out there. So. Not much else here. Wesley Matthews, someone I'm still not buying. I just think he's a little bit past his prime. Harrison Barnes is worth playing, I think, between those two. And Luka Doncic. How did he not go number 1 overall, Adrian? How did he not?
You know what? I'm not.
I am still yeah, I know. I'm not like some sort of like NBA prospect analyst, but my God, if I can figure that out, how can those guys not figure it out? I don't understand it anyway.
I was just going to say the exact same thing, Neil. I'm not an expert prospect pro, but man, it seemed pretty obvious when that all these teams, when they passed on Luka, that it was a big mistake. And Neil, if we redrafted, maybe even JJJ goes number 2 right behind Luka.
Yeah.
I mean, DeAndre Ayton's been good, but man, JJJ has just got more tools in that toolbox.
Yeah, I was going to say we can JJJ and Wendell Carter. I think those are the 3 top guys, and actually any order I think would be fine. I mean, Luka, I'd still take 1, but JJJ could have the best career, or Carter. We'll see.
I agree.
All right, let's go on to Memphis, Denver. Nice win here for Denver. A little depleted Nuggets team against a decent or pretty good Memphis team, 99-105. But I will start with the Grizzlies. Start with Mike Conley, 19 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists on 5 of 14 shooting. Perfect on the line, though, 7 of 7 with 2 3-pointers and 2 steals. Marc Gasol, quiet night for him in 31 minutes, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Just took 6 shots. That's really rare for him. 2 of 2 from the line, though, a 3-pointer. The aforementioned Jared Jackson Jr., 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. His stat line do not obviously give him credit for how good he is. The stats will come. Kyle Anderson, 29 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 steals and a block. Most leagues this guy got drafted and he's still kind of out there. I mean, he's still owned, so he's not out there to be picked up. But he's starting to show signs of being useful. Garrett Temple is not. 34 minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Tonight had a 3-pointer off the bench. JaMychal Green, he plays when Jaren Jackson is either struggling or in foul trouble. Tonight, JaMychal Green, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of 10 shooting. Still not good enough to be owned. I don't believe so in standard leagues. 1 3-pointer and a block. Shelvin Mack, 14, 2 and 2. He had a little run there earlier this year. And Omri Caspi, played 19 minutes. Oh, Joakim Noah. Well, this is not a name we had thought about talking about this season. He's actually had, he's had a decent role here. 19 minutes tonight, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Not much in fantasy value. 2 blocks and a steal. I will say, though, if this guy got back into the starter's role somehow, if they're through injury, he might be worth owning. So just keep an eye on him. Just because he can assist, he can shoot decently, he can rebound, still get blocks. So the stats sort of accumulate for him when he's out there. Not much else to talk about. Marshawn Brooks, I thought he might be a sleeper this year. Has not played many minutes at all this season. Thoughts from you on the Memphis Grizzlies?
Mike Conley left this game briefly for a finger injury, sprained finger in his right hand. Neil, anytime Mike Conley leaves due to an injury, it scares the death out of me because of the last 2 seasons for Mike Conley. But doesn't sound like it's a problem, finger injury, so hopefully it'll heal or hopefully he can deal with it. Sounds like it's not 100%, so it might be something he's got to deal with for the foreseeable future, but I'm just happy that he's all right. And I want to mention, man, JJJ, pretty disappointing game here. Just the 11 points in the I'm sorry. I think I'm looking at the wrong game. Hang on. JJJ, just the 6 points in 20 minutes. So, pretty disappointing. And I think it might have been a matchup issue, Neil. The Nuggets did something kind of interesting. They moved Jokic to the power forward spot. They actually played Plum Lee at the 5 center spot. So that's a pretty big front court. Maybe it gave JJJ some problems, and maybe that's why he only saw 20 minutes here tonight. All right, Neil, I'm going to jump in on the Nuggets side. Gonna start with the Joker. Jokic, 27 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, 9 of 14 from the field, a 3, 8 of 9 from the line. Man, this guy just filling it up. It's great to see. Neil, the last show we talked about who is going to fill in for Millsap, who's out, Harris, who's out, Hernan Gomez. Didn't have a fantastic game, but you got to love that he saw 37 minutes, 7 points, 2 blocks, and assists, 5 rebounds. He made a 3, 1 of 4 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. Jamal Murray, who should just be locked in. I think he's going to get a nice bump in usage with all these guys missing. 16 points for him tonight. Man, 2 blocks and 4 steals. You got to love getting those defensive stats from your point guard. That's fantastic. 5 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, a 3, 3 of 4 from the line. Plum Lee, who got the start. Neil, this is kind of interesting, man. If this is the rotation they're going to go with going forward, I don't know. In deep leagues, maybe Plum Lee is worth an add. Doubled tonight in 35 minutes, 12 points, 10 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. A lot of people need blocks. This could be it. Torrey Craig getting the start, but only getting 7 points in 25 minutes. Off the bench, it was Monty Morris with a great line. 20 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal. Shot a beautiful 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from downtown. That's fantastic. Lyles with the letdown here. Only 22 minutes. Took a lot of shots, but only shot 4 of 12 for 9 points, 2 steals, 7 rebounds. Nothing else off the bench here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Nuggets?
Yeah, I wonder about this lineup. You're right. If it's going forward, I think Plumlee might be worth owning. I just think going up against Jaren Jackson and Marc Gasol might have been the strategy to have Plumlee in there. It may not be the case next time. I think you had talked about Trey Lyles getting a lot of minutes, and that might be the starting player. So keep an eye on that. Not much else to say here. I do think Monte Morris, I like to see that he delivered after I called him last night. Good to see. Had a nice game tonight. Hopefully that'll continue. And let's see. Hernan Gomez, I still think they'll be the best beneficiary from these injuries. It's looking like Gary Harris is out until the beginning of the year. The 1st is his return date. And Paul Millsap is out until the 23rd of January. So he's got a month and a half, it looks like. So a lot of players you can pick up and try to stream. All right. LA Clippers at Phoenix. This game goes to overtime. Start off with Tobias Harris, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 of 19 from the field, 9 of 9 from the line, 2 3-pointers, a steal, and 2 blocks. This guy is having a phenomenal year. Second on my list is now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 8 of 12 shooting, 1 steal, 1 block. I'm sure he's been picked up everywhere, but he's phenomenal. I mean, his stat set has been, I know here and there, he's a rookie. He's another rookie we should talk about, right? He got drafted late, but he may, if he were drafted, where would he go? Danilo Gallinari, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 12 shooting, 11 of 12 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals. He is a top 50 guy when playing, and it's still doing it 37 minutes tonight in overtime. Boban gets a start, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 3 of 6 shooting, and a block. Avery Bradley, someone I streamed for like 3 days. Not sure why I did it. Tonight, 8 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists on 3 of 8 shooting. Off the bench, Montrezl Harrell. Usually I start with him, but tonight, a quiet night. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 of 7 from the field. He struggles so much from the line, unfortunately. 1 of 5 from the free throw line. No steals, no blocks. Patrick Beverley got 34 minutes of action, but just 6 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Not much for scoring. And his defensive stats had 2 steals tonight, but have been off this year. Not much else to talk about off the bench. Are you trying to figure out this Boban thing at all? And
no.
Stardom. Yeah.
Nah, I've given up on Boban a couple weeks ago. I think Montrezl Harrell is that's the guy that you want. And I want to note Lou Williams left this game with a sore right hamstring. Lou Williams, I believe, is 50 years old, so he could he could miss a few games here. I am hoping that means more minutes for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Neil, you mentioned him. This kid looks spectacular, man. I love watching this kid play. Call me crazy. This might be a hot take. I think if we redrafted, I would draft Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over Trae Young. I don't know, man.
That's not even close anymore.
Yes.
I would. Yeah, for sure. I would do that. I thought you were going to say over Luka. I thought you were going to go back and talk.
No. But over Trae Young, who I believe went number 3, or I don't know. Anyways, I expect Lou Williams to miss a little bit of time with a hamstring. So just hoping that bumps up the value of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a little bit more. And that's it, man. That's all I got. I'm going to move in on the other side. And Neil, I was really excited about this game because it was the battle of the rookie point guards. We already mentioned Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, DeAnthony Melton getting the start in this one. Look, the shooting wasn't great. 5 of 16 is not great, but I like this kid a lot, man. 13 points, 2 steals. He had 8 assists, 4 rebounds. No threes tonight. He took 4 from downtown, didn't make any. 3 of 3 from the line. I really like this guy, Neil. I like that he started. I hope he continues to start. I think he's worth a pickup just to see what happens. Trevor Ariza. Lots of buzz that this guy could be on the move. He's eligible to be traded on the 15th of December, which is later this week. A lot of buzz. The Lakers could be interested in him, Neil. 12 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and a 3. 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line for Trevor Ariza. TJ Warren, 12 minutes here. Do you see an injury? Yes. Oh, he got ejected in this one. TJ Warren got ejected in the second quarter. This is why I only saw 12 minutes, had 6 points. Mikal Bridges, yes. Neil, I'm hanging on to this guy in a couple leagues. This is what I like to see, man, showing some signs of life. 19 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 threes tonight. The shooting was there. Yes, 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. DeAndre Ayton, pretty good game from him tonight, actually. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Shot an efficient 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. That's all you can ask from him. Not too much else. Why aren't I seeing Rashawn Holmes on my box score?
Oh, no, he had a great line.
Holmes was at the very bottom of my box score. I have no idea why. 25 minutes from him, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 3 blocks. Neil, while we were recording the show, I checked on Twitter and I saw that they actually went to Holmes over DeAndre Ayton in the overtime period. So keep an eye on that situation. I mean, I really can't see Holmes taking over the starting gig from Ayton just because Ayton was the number 1 draft pick. But really curious if both guys can eventually be worthy of starting in fantasy. Lastly, I need to mention Josh Jackson has been pretty good lately with all the injuries. He had 18 points with 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 threes. He was 8 of 15 from the field. Troy Daniels, who I actually picked up in a very deep league, had 10 points, 2 steals, a rebound. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, this is, I think the big news out of here is DeAndre Melton, like you said. We know that Booker is coming back. Looks like he will be expected to come back at the end of the week. So that's going to take away some of Melton's assists, presumably, as Booker likes to control the offense. But I think Melton might be worth owning. I think he is the starting point guard going forward. He's probably going to play 30-plus minutes a night. His shooting might struggle a little bit. I'm trying to see just the recent stats to get some idea of what he might do. He's 96th on a per-game basis over the last week, struggling really with the field goal percentage and the rebounds and the blocks as you expect for a point guard. Other than that, he's okay. And I think he might be right around 100 to 100. He's going to be right on that cusp of owning. So I think he's worth a flyer more so than Josh Jackson. I think Josh Jackson takes a big hit with TJ Warren coming back. And then Rashawn Holmes. This guy should have like his own hoop ball poster because everyone here seems to love that guy. He's one of those guys that I just don't trust the minutes on a night-to-night basis. But if Ayton ever went down, for sure, I would own Holmes. If I knew Holmes was starting and getting 25-plus minutes a night, I would own him for sure. I'm just afraid from night to night it's going to be a little frustrating. Oh, and then finally, Mikal Bridges. I think he will take a hit, though, with Warren playing more minutes and Booker coming back. But, yes, it's good to see him out there and scoring finally. He's been reluctant to shoot, so good to see him making 19 points tonight. So he actually held on to him in one league. I owned him, and I was thinking about dropping him, and I held on, and I'm going to keep holding on. We'll see how it goes. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that take on Holmes, man. It's just if Ayton ever went down, it would be like sprint to the wire to grab Holmes. But with Ayton healthy, it's just really tough to see Holmes getting the minutes that he needs. Anyways, all right, you guys, this is it for me. Neil, I'm sorry. I think there's still 2 more games, but I got to get out of here, man. My wife is buzzing me on the other line. You guys, thanks so much for listening and supporting the show. Want to remind you guys, go get the Hoop Ball in-season premium membership, which is, I believe it's still on sale right now for $14.99. Great stuff over there. The add and drop advice, which is daily, the pre and post game coverage, rankings, projections, all that stuff, man. It's great. For that price, it's a no-brainer. All right, Neil, any closing thoughts on the show before I get out of here, man?
Hey, where can they find you on Twitter?
Hit me up on Twitter. I love hearing from you guys. Send me a message, man. I'm at Adrian Benjamins. Hit me up. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting the show. Neil will be back for 2 more games.
All right, on to the last 2 games of the evening. The Lakers take down the Heat 108-105 with some interesting stat lines here. Dwayne Wade had a prominent role for the Heat. Comes off the bench, plays 32 minutes, though, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 6 of 19 shooting, though, 3 of 4 from the line. Missed all his 3-pointers, including the last-minute desperation 3 to try to tie the game and send it to overtime. Did have a steal and a block, two turnovers, excuse me. Let's go to the starters, though. Goran Dragic got the start at point guard. He is coming back from injury. Played 18 minutes tonight. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists on 3 of 9 shooting. 1 of 4 from 3-point land. Clearly, he's not. I got to look up and see if he's injured. Sorry about that. Let me hop on, though, to the guy who I like best in Miami, who's been struggling a bit, is Jason Richardson, 30 minutes tonight. 10 points, though. We expect a lot more. 3 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, 2 3-pointers. Did go 2 of 2 from the line, so did at least have that. Bam Adebayo, someone who I am streaming, and perhaps you are as well. Certainly worth that when Hassan Whiteside is out, as he again was tonight. Bam did not close the game, but played 29 minutes, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 of 11 shooting. Unfortunately, missed both his free throws. Did have 3 steals and 2 blocks. He has been just a great guy to stream over the last couple weeks. Rodney McGruder still starting out there on the wing. Played 24 minutes tonight. Unfortunately, his stats have really fallen off. He is now, in the last 2 weeks, 188 and 8 cat. Over the last month, he has fallen to 220th. I was streaming him at the beginning of the season. Obviously, he's not worth owning anymore. Tonight, 10 points, 2 rebounds. Not much else. Did have 2 3-pointers. James Johnson, another person who is back in the starting lineup, but not producing. 17 minutes tonight. No points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, so 1 block. I think his time has fortunately passed for him as a fantasy asset, regardless of whether he's starting or not. Justin Winslow, if he didn't have such bad percentages, I would consider picking him up. Tonight had a great game, 38 minutes, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 11 of 20 shooting, 6 3-pointers. Great to see from him. Unfortunately, he is still 193rd on a per-game basis in ACAT. And, over the last 2 weeks, he is 105th. He's been shooting decently in the last 2 weeks, 48% from the field, 73% from the line. Unfortunately, on the season, he is 39% from the field and 70% from the line. And it's that 39% that really scares me and takes him out of ACAT value. Certainly, though, in a points league, he's worth streaming, or he could be worth streaming. Olynyk, over the last 2 weeks, is number 16 ACAT. Tonight, though, did not play that many minutes, or did not, I should say, he played decently. I still think Adebayo is a much better person in the front court. Olynyk had 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Did go 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 3 from the line. So his stat sets, his percentages are much better. And had a steal as well. I am still not trusting him once Whiteside gets back. I think he will fall more to the less than 20-minute range. That's my expectation. I know that others are much higher on Olynyk going forward. So on the Miami side, Adebayo, stream him. He's 43rd per game on an ACAP basis. Over the last 2 weeks, if for some reason Whiteside continues to stay out or he gets traded, I think he's the one to own. Magruder, despite starting, are not worth owning. Wade may be streamable. I do think, though, this was more playing against LeBron and allowing him to have a game against LeBron before he retires more than anything else. He has been seeing more minutes, but I think Tyler Johnson, who was out tonight with a hip injury, if he's back in, I think Dwayne Wade's minutes will drop into the 20s, and not trusting it. All right, let's go over to the Lakers side. Starting with LeBron James. Tonight he had 28 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists on 10 of 19 shooting. His free throw line is just not great. Tonight, 4 of 8. That's the one thing that's kind of frustrating with him. The only area where he kind of hurts you. Did have a steal, no blocks. Kyle Kuzma, scoring machine, 40 minutes tonight, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. definitely not shy. Took the most shots on the team, 22 tonight. Was able to hit them, 14 of them, shooting 47% on the year. So he's able to hit, knock down a lot of shots in high volume, which is great to see. 2 of 2 from the line, 3 3-pointers, no defensive stats. Josh Hart, someone I think is worth owning in the absence of Brandon Ingram. 35 minutes tonight, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Just took 9 shots, only made 3 of them. Did have 2 3-pointers, 1 of 2 from the line on a block. It's not a great line from him, but I think on average over the course of the next several weeks, as Ingram seems to be, Ingram's coming back on the 15th, so never mind. But until then, I think he's worth owning. JaVale McGee only played 15 minutes, 4 points, 8 rebounds. Did have 3 blocks. 2 of 4 from the line, 1 of 7 from the field. Missed some close range shots there, which is unusual for him. Lonzo Ball had a very solid night, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists on 4 of 11 shooting, 1 3-pointer, and then he had great defensive stats, 3 steals and 2 blocks. He is 151 on a per-game basis. And ACAT has actually not. I thought he might creep up with Ingram out. He might get a little bit more. His points might go up. Other categories may go up with the absence of Ingram, but it's not happened. Over the last 2 weeks, it's 178th in ACAT. So, unfortunately, not worth owning, mainly because of his field goal percent. It's just horrendous. And shooting still struggling there as well. So, the points as well. So, doesn't knock down enough threes as well. Tough to own. Chandler played 25 minutes off the bench. Caldwell Pope 24 minutes, and Lance Stevenson got 16 minutes. Those guys are not worth owning. The final game of the night just finished up. Minnesota versus Golden State. Golden State got off to a big start here. Minnesota kind of came back and made it a game and was competitive after getting down early in the first quarter. Start with Karl Anthony Towns, solid line, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists on 11 of 15 shooting. Centers tend to do well against Golden State. 8 of 12 from the line, a 3-pointer and a block. Andrew Wiggins played 36 minutes, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 15 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, 3 3-pointers and a steal. Robert Covington, he's really helped with his defense. 26 minutes tonight, 7 points, coming back from injury, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 of 7 from the field, so struggled, just a 3-pointer and a steal. It looks like he is playing, but has right knee soreness still. Over the last 2 weeks, Covington is 9th overall in ACAT. He's gotten much better, much more reliant on to score and be part of the offense there in Minnesota. Not just a great defensive player, great two-way player out there. Taj Gibson gets 17 minutes, 4 points, 3 rebounds on 2 of 7 shooting, a block and a steal. Jeff Teague struggled from the field tonight, just 1 of 5 shooting, 3 points, 2 rebounds. Did have 11 assists to kind of salvage it, and a block, 2 turnovers. Derrick Rose scored off the bench, as he's been known to do recently, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Just great if you're able to pick him up. 74th in ACAT on a per-game basis, 3 of 3 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Dario Saric, someone who's been splitting minutes with Taj tonight. I think just a better fit against the Warriors' pace and space type lineup, fast-paced offense. Saric, obviously not the plodding down-low guy like Taj is, can shoot the 3-pointer. Went 6 of 9 tonight, Saric, that is. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. No 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. I would not read him much more than that, just than the matchup in terms of his minutes versus Taj. Tyus Jones played 17 minutes with T getting fouled out. Gorgie Jang, 14 minutes. I still think you hold on to Taj. I think he can be good if they're in the right matchups. But certainly I think neither one is going to produce much value. And Dario, I think, will be on the outside looking in. Wiggins, still, despite scoring points, is still not in the top 125 on a per-game basis this season in ACAT. All right, on the Golden State side, they have their full lineup back now. Not just Curry, but Draymond Green is in the starting lineup. So let's start with him. Tonight he came back and played 29 minutes, so seemingly fully healthy. 7 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, kind of what we expect from Draymond, and a block. 3 of 8 shooting. Curry had 38 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists on 12 of 23 shooting, 7 of 7 from the line, 7 of 14 from three-point land. He's just shooting lights out from long range as well. 2 steals and a block. Good defensive stats from him. Durant, 22, 5, and 3 on 7 of 15 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, 4 3-pointers himself, and 3 steals. Kevon Looney gets the start at center as he has been. Unfortunately, he will take even a bigger hit. I don't imagine anyone streaming him, but if you were in deeper leagues, it's going to get worse. Fouled out tonight, played 23 minutes, 2 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on just 1 of 4 shooting and a block. Jerebko getting a lot of minutes off the bench, 29 minutes, 10, 8, and 5. Unfortunately, he's too hard to trust, and with Draymond back now, just not going to have much of a role. Unless there's foul trouble from Kevon, and I don't think, and Towns is not a great defender, which will probably explain why Jerebko scored 10 points. McKinney, Antonio McKinney played Alfonso McKinney, 24 minutes, 7, 6, and 0 on 1 block. Sean Livingston, 16 minutes. Jordan Bell, just 10 and out of the rotation. Draymond Green looks like he's back and fully healthy, so I think if you do own him and you were sitting on him, would not need to wait another game after playing 29 minutes tonight and going 7, 10, and 7. That's really about it. If you own Thompson, obviously you're starting him. Curry, Durant, Jerebko, not worth streaming, and neither is anyone else off the bench. Iguodala was out tonight, but even such, he has had just a few games here and there worth starting and not worth owning overall. And that is the final score of the night, the final box score. Thanks again to our sponsor, Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. It's been great to get sponsored, and I appreciate their support here at Box Score Breakdown and Hoop Ball overall. Again, as Adrian mentioned, if you are interested in our premium membership, it is now on sale for $14.99 for the rest of the season. You can find that at hoop-ball.com. And that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.